Hi guys. So I just wanted to make a vlog to talk about what's been on my mind lately. And just recently, actually not recently, but more so recently, I've just been having this thought, and I keep repeating this, and I just feel like I'm losing myself. And to be honest, I didn't know what that meant when I kept saying it. I couldn't explain the feeling. I wanted to be myself, but I wasn't myself. I had to, filter who I was to honor other people, or to be accepted around to be accepted around other people, or I felt like that, in the end, I guess my mind's just running all over the place, but my point is, I found out that me pretending to be somebody else wasn't satisfying to myself, so I stopped doing that, but my real honest self is a little too honest. And so I guess I just, stopped talking to people, and because then I realized that I didn't have I began just recently to not have a filter for a lot of things, and so there would be a few things that I would say that were just way too honest sometimes, and brutally way too honest. And so then I felt like if I couldn't just fully say what I felt, then I shouldn't say anything at all, right? And so then I just literally stopped talking to people, and even in conversations with random strangers and stuff, I just stopped talking to people because it just didn't seem right, and I was just afraid that I would say something that was hurtful, or I wasn't being sensitive to something that from the opposing side or something. And it was just that idea of always living in fear and never really being able to speak my mind, but not wanting to deal with conflict at the same time. So in this whole thing, I kept feeling like I was losing myself. But here's the point. That whole thing that I just talked about had nothing to do really with what I'm gonna talk about now. But a phrase that's been reoccurring is me saying I feel like I'm losing myself. And I was on my way to Food Max today to go buy some drinks. And at a red light, I was thinking, why do I keep saying that? What am I losing? What part of me am I losing? Because I'm still me. I just feel like I'm conforming to my environment, but I'm still me. And I realized what it was. Literally, when it hit me, it was click, and I don't even know, why I didn't click before. But here is what it is. There's a backstory. So about 3 years ago, I got really, 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 really into and obsessed with BTS, because in my life, I was really in love with this boy, I guess you could say, because I was just a child back then. But to me, it just felt like it was so meant to be. I've always been a mature kid, and a mature, yeah, I've always been an adult child, literally, just because I grew up around a lot of adults. And so I've always been a mature kid, and this guy was really mature too. So my point is, I made him basically my everything. We weren't dating or anything, but he, a heartbreak happened 3 years ago where he said that he didn't love me or didn't want to be with me, and that hurt a lot. And so literally the next day I got really obsessed with BTS. And I guess now I'm here today, and if you're not in the fandom, then if you're not in the fandom, then you probably don't know about this. But then if you are in the fandom, then you'll know that BTS's popularity is skyrocketing like crazy all around the world, literally internationally. And this is where I found the like the reason as to why I feel like I keep losing myself. It's because I made that guy my whole life back then. And then he said, I didn't, he basically said, well, you're not my whole life, and he let me go. And I can't do anything about that. So then I replaced him with BTS. And now I feel like with BTS's popularity, I'm having to constantly like share them with more and more people, in which I've had vlogs before, talking about the same thing where I feel like as the fandom gets bigger, I get smaller and like my chances of getting noticed are like less likely, or like I feel like I have to share what belongs to me, but BTS doesn't belong to me. Um, but my point is that the reason why I feel like I'm losing myself is because I made BTS my everything in the last 3 years. Like, literally. And now I feel like they are on, like, this train of, popularity and love and attention, and they totally deserve that, but for me as a fan, like, it hurts, to see that, because then I'm here and I have to literally, instead of sharing BTS with a few hundred people or a few thousand people, I'm sharing them with over 4 million people, or over 100 million views, whatever you want to call it, but it's crazy. And so I guess my point is, the more that BTS gets popular, the more I feel like the less they are mine. The bigger they get and more popular they get, the less I can grasp them. And it's not like I have them in my hands to begin with. And it's not like like my chances of being noticed were a lot bigger in the beginning, or that they would have even noticed me at all. Like that's just the reality. But in my head, um, it just, that idea was just satisfying to know that, hey, like there weren't millions of people. In fact, there was only a few hundred and thousand of us out of the billions of people in this world, and that was a lot. Like I had more of a peaceful mind with that than with what I have now, the millions, and so I guess like the more that they get popular, the more I feel like I'm losing them. Not that I'm not gonna be a fan, not that I'm losing them in my life. I just feel like the more that I have to share them with other people, the more like I'm losing myself. And in that case, in that sense, I mean like I feel like the more that I share them with people, the more I lose them, because I become even smaller, and the thing is, the reality is just that I've made them my whole life, and now I'm losing them. So I feel like I'm losing myself. And that was my conclusion as I was sitting in the car. And I was like, oh my god, like that just makes sense. Because I've been having all of these like struggling fandom feels, And then, but then it always like, for some reason, it always like coincided with my personal life as well. And I was like, I didn't understand that, but now I do, because I used my fandom life to cover my personal life. And so when my fandom life and my fangirl life and my BTS life, starts to crumble, or like get fragile in a lot of ways, then I become fragile in a lot of ways, because I've made it like that, so honestly, like I've just paved this road for myself. But that's basically all I wanted to say. I mean, I kept just repeating it, and I talk a lot of nonsense, or I repeat myself in like 20 different ways. But it was really great to like come to that realization, but it was also really sad, because I didn't, like, honestly, I don't know what to do about it, and yeah, there's just a lot of things that I'm like thinking about right now, and it's just crazy. Like I honestly don't even know what to do. Like because I've made them my whole life, and I feel like they will continue to because I can't let them go. But at the same time, it's like because honestly, like I feel like if I let them go, I'm letting a part of myself go, and I can't do that. Like I just can't, at least not right now, you know. And so I feel like I'm losing myself, you know. I don't know how else to explain it. It's just to say I feel like I'm losing myself because I literally am, you know. BTS isn't in my grasp anymore. It's not like they ever were. I don't know. I think a lot of people say like I'm glad I didn't make BTS my whole life. You know, like I've heard a lot of people say that, or like I'm glad I didn't make something or someone my whole life. Um, and like to be honest, like that's a good thing. But like for me, like I made BTS my whole life, and I'm not regretful at all. I just I just didn't expect this kind of outcome, you know, because if like a lot of fangirls I've talked to them and they come into this fandom because they're sad or they wanted something to be inspired by. But like for me, I came to this fandom to patch up something that I didn't want to face in reality. And now that I feel like I'm losing BTS, like it's like I really have to hit those things head on. Like, and it's not that I didn't hit them head on before. It was just they were like um like a remedy. And I don't know. I just kind of feel like you know how sometimes you take a pill or a type of medicine too much, you just become immune to it. It kind of seems like that right now with BTS. Like I have so much of it that I feel like I'm just losing it. You know, it just doesn't patch up the hurt anymore because I'm not like they're not mine anymore. You know? That's all I wanted to say. It's just been on my mind a lot. And yeah. I just have to remember that I will always just be a fan. And that's okay. I have to be okay.